computer. Okay. Oh, recording in progress. Very good. I just spent the last 5 minutes talking to myself without it having the recording button on. Ching! Anyway, in this session, we're going to be looking at the different levels of communication. And perhaps you're a very good communicator. Perhaps you're oblivious to how you communicate. Well, I'm going to share you my experience, and by no means is this exhaustive, but hopefully it's helpful. So the first one, I'm going to call it level 0. 0 because there is no communication going on. That means there's no mannerisms that you can see. You can't see person moving. You can't see the person moving their mouth, and you certainly can't hear them. They're not messaging or anything like that. So there's simply nothing going on. And that could be for a number of reasons. But what I want to say is, if you want to grow with a person inside your life, whether they're a family member, a friend, or someone closer, you're in a relationship, then you don't want to be stuck here, because if you do not communicate, the other person 100% won't know, right? There's no way that they can read your mind unless you are there somehow communicating something, right? And so what I encourage you is not to stay here unless, of course, you don't want that family member, friend, or relationship anymore in your life. Then cut it, and then there will be nothing more, right? So that's level 0. So what's the next step? Level 1. Let's go to level 1, and I'll call it messaging. So messaging in traditional times, it used to be just writing on paper, or it could have been writing on walls or something like that, or stone, if you go back far enough. And with messaging, it's pretty good because it's giving insight to the other person so that they can start to understand who you are. You know, nowadays on our phones, we can do it with Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and other ones that you'll be aware of in your vicinity around the world. So it's really good because people start to get an understanding. It's like pages on a book. You know, you can read it, you get insight into what the writer is saying, or what the person it is that you're in communication with. So that's positive. It's good. But the weakness in it is that, well, the positive and the weak side. So the positive side is, for example, if you look at a book, is that you can dream up all kinds of things inside your head for the story that you're reading, right? The weakness in that is that when someone communicates to us, we can dream up all kinds of things in our head from our backgrounds around the world, our experiences, and they're not necessarily perhaps what the other person is intending to say to you. Because what's happening, or me, because what's happening is that sometimes something that is positive in our part, in our part of the world, can be looked on in a negative light somewhere else. Something that is means nothing bad here can be offensive or have another meaning somewhere else. You're right. So what I would say is messaging is a great step forward from non-communication, but it's open to interpretation, which can be looked on positively or negatively. Yeah. So what's the next step up from that one? Well, I call it level 2, and that is audio. So if I was to take away myself here, I'm gone. See, you're left with audio. The great thing about audio, in terms of better than messaging, is it's fast, right? You don't have to write everything down. You can listen to the person. You can hear my voice going up and hear it going down. You can hear it slow, or you can hear it fast. So you can start to pick up the mood of the person, and you can get better insight with someone communicating in this way. And if you reply back, then it can be a fast way of getting to know the person better. So that's positive. But what is the weak side of this? Well, the weak side is you can't see the person, right? So when you can see someone, ta-da, then you not only are hearing them and hearing the up and the down and everything else, you're starting to see, look here, and we're going into level 3 now. Level 3, which is the visual, which is visual audio, is that, you know, you can see me moving around. You can see what's behind me. So you can start to understand, oh, this person is you know, is very expressive. They're full of passion. They love greenery, or they're in a greenery environment. So, you know, you start to get a better understanding of the person and where they are, right? So it's another step forward. We've gone from level 0, non-communication, number 1, messaging, and you can reply in kind. And then number 2, we've gone up to audio. Oh, you can't see me, but you can certainly hear me. And then we go to level 3, which is visual. Very good positive. And I don't really see too much of a negative here, because here you're able to watch the person, see their emotions, and how they're feeling, and you can grow with them. And the internet allows us to do that. So what is the next level? So let's go up to level 4. So if I go to level 4, then we're going to be in person, right? And like I've just met someone during this trip, and we've known each other for 7 years, and we've had all these levels happening: 0, 1, 2, 3, and now up to 4, for example, for us. And it's really wonderful, because when you're together, not only do you have all the visual and audio cues, you have the 5 senses, right? You can touch, you can smell, you can sense, there's a range of different things. So being with someone is like everything together. And with level 0 being no growth, messaging being a bit of growth, audio being more, and visual being even more than that, this one is like the complete package, because you have the person there in front of you with everything happening going on, and you're instantly going back and forth about different things. And here, this is one of the good examples, is that when you have someone and there is silence, that silence is good, see, because you can be with that person, but you can still feel them next to you, and you can get a good vibe or a bad vibe, about what's going on. So whereabouts are you inside your friendships, your relationships, your family? Have you zeroed them out? Are you still doing the messenger thing, which is open to interpretation? Are you audio messaging? Are you visual? Or are you in person? Now, all of these are good for different occasions, but if you want to grow with a person, make sure that you have the in-person touch as well as all the others, except for 0, and you'll do well. All right, I'll see you in the next session.